The Apocalyptic ladder of Jacob, chapter 5 and verse 1. Thus he said to me, You have seen a ladder with 12 steps, each step having 2 human faces, which kept changing their appearance as this age, and the 12 steps are the periods of this age, but the 24 faces are the kings of the ungodly nations of this age. In Genesis, the account of Jacob's ladder is given in chapter 28, verses 10 to 15. However, the text does not say, unlike the apocalyptic ladder of Jacob, how many steps the ladder has, nor does it have any faces on it. Genesis chapter 28 and verse 12. Then he dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set up upon the earth, and its top reached to heaven, and there the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and to your seed. Also your seed shall be as the dust of the earth. You shall spread abroad to the west and the east, and to the north and the south. And in you and in your seed all the families of the earth shall be blessed. Behold, I am with you, and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. However, in the apocalyptic ladder of Jacob, the text says that the ladder has 12 steps, and each step has 2 human faces. You have seen a ladder with 12 steps, each step having 2 human faces, which keep changing their appearance as this age, and the 12 steps are the periods of this age, but the 24 faces are the kings of the ungodly nations of this age. This could be based upon the first book of Kings, chapter 10, verses 19 and 20. The throne had 6 steps, and its back had a rounded top. On both sides of the seat were armrests, with a lion standing beside each of them. 12 lions stood on the 6 steps, one at either end of each step. Nothing like it had ever been made for any other kingdom. So in the first book of Kings, the lions would represent the tribe of Judah, the royal tribe of Judah. I believe that the author of the apocalyptic ladder of Jacob would have taken this symbol of the lions and interpreted it as human faces, because the lions would be the rulers of this age, which in the apocalyptic ladder of Jacob are human faces, as lions are symbols of kings or rulers. In the book of Kings, the steps up to the throne are 6 ascending, thus there would be 6 steps to descend the throne as well. This makes 12 steps altogether. The promises to Abraham and Isaac are now given to Jacob. Therefore, the time between the giving of the promise and its fulfillment was represented by a ladder of extraordinary length. One end stood at Bethel, and the other end extended into the heavens. A ladder is a device that connects separate points by which a person at the lower end can reach a desired height. Hence, it is a connector between points of distance. This ladder, however, is not about locations but distant ages. The ages and generations that connect them have a similar relationship to the period as a ladder has to the ground on which it rests and the point of elevation against which it leans. Thus the ladder in Jacob's vision represented his seed in their generations and appointed times. The Lord Jesus identified himself with this ladder. John chapter 1 and verse 51. He is the way of ascent to the heavenly places above. Colossians chapter 3 verses 1 to 2. No man comes to the Father but by him. John chapter 14 and verse 6. He stands as the summit of faith. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 14. Upon this ladder of ages and generations, with Jacob at the bottom and his seed, the Messiah, at the top, the angels of God were seen ascending and descending. This represented to him that the events of his prosperity, both natural and spiritual, in all their relations with the world, would be administrated by the Elohim, who would pass to and fro between earth and heaven in the performance of their work. Hence the apostle called them all ministering spirits, sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation. Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 14. The work of the angels in supervising the affairs of the saints, as symbolically moving up and down the staircase of Yahweh's purpose, will cease, for, as the apostle remarks, it is not to angels that he has subjected the world to come, about which we are speaking. Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 5. The staircase therefore represented the ages and generations of the called, whilst the angels moving up and down it symbolized the angelic supervision of the times and the individualized association with the divine purpose. The ladder represents the step-by-step realization by means of which a believer assimilates the divine ideas of the gospel that come to him from the Spirit Word. The ladder represents the step-by-step ascension of man from material to spiritual consciousness. Yahweh, the spiritual God consciousness, stands above, assuring the believer of a worthwhile inheritance. The angels or messengers represent thoughts or words of truth necessary to the unfolding of the higher consciousness. What do we understand by the gate of heaven? This is the state of consciousness through which we pass from activity on the outer or physical side to meditation and prayer on the inner or spiritual side.